I've decided we're living in a parallel rugby universe at the minute, because we're living in a universe at the minute where Argentina have an unbelievable back line, but a pretty bobbins front five, in complete contrast to where they used to be. And New Zealand are playing classic Springbok rugby, whilst the Boks are playing more like classic New Zealand rugby at the minute. What world are we in? It's fun. This rugby championship is awesome already. The teams have been announced for the game that's going to be happening tomorrow night, Saturday night in Buenos Aires. The second test between Argentina and New Zealand. New Zealand with a dominant, powerful performance that got them the win last week. What can Argentina do? Your thoughts in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. Welcome to Cape Town, where I will be watching the Springbok v Wallaby test tomorrow. The weather is beautiful again in Cape Town. A little bit of a breeze up, but blue skies everywhere. Hoping that the conditions tomorrow are great. And yeah, you get the nice distraction of a lovely view of Table Mountain as I go through the teams. Starting with Argentina, who have struggled for consistency. That's just a bit of a cliche with Argentina. It's just what they do. A couple of changes that Contepomi has made for this one. Mateo Carreras comes in on the left wing. He's one of the best wingers in the world on his day. Absolutely electric. And Juan Martin Gonzalez comes into the back row. He's in for for Marcos Kremer. Both are absolutely class. But I'm not sure they're the changes that are going to turn around the performance for Argentina. There's some more fundamentals that they need to take care of. They got bullied up front against the All Blacks last week. Still no Thomas Gajo, who would have helped things there. So Vivas continues at loosehead prop. The backup hooker, Ruiz, decent player for Perpignan, but he's a massive drop-off from Julien Montoya, the skipper. So it is an issue. And like I say, this is bizarre to watch Argentina with a substandard front row. I don't know what's happened since I was a kid, first getting into rugby, when you had, like, Argentina would always have, or they still have, these kind of cube-shaped men, but they were all about the scrummaging. And they left the backline play. They weren't too fussed about that. It was all about the tight play. And I love the evolution in Argentinian rugby, and their backline I'll come on to is electric. But they need more balance. You think of the days of Marcos Ayerza, of Augustin Crevi, just to name a couple. They've fallen a long way in that area. And I don't know how much of it is coaching. It could be part of it, because look at the turnaround with New Zealand. With similar players, they are kind of playing a bit more like a Crusaders team in all black colours. So maybe it's coaching and something that can be turned around. Can it turn around in a week? We're going to find out. The backs for Argentina, like I say, absolutely dynamite. Thomas Albanese, one of the best fly halves in world rugby. And even in a poor Argentinian performance at times, although they were better in the second half, Albanese was superb. Arguably the best fly half on display in the Rugby Championship last weekend, and I'm even including James O'Connor in that one, who was great. Chocobaras and Sinti kept Barrett and Proctor very quiet last week. Malia at fullback had a poor game by his really high standards, and he's too class of an act, you would think, to have two poor games in a row. So expecting more from him. And obviously Mateo Carreras, box office talent who can break games open. So I think Argentina are going to fire shots. They're worth points. They're worth tries. They can score from anywhere. They just need to take care of business up front. They got mauled into submission last week, and they had no answer to the power that New Zealand brought. And when we move over to New Zealand, that is a concern for Argentina, because New Zealand have got even more powerful. But before I get into their team, it's important to just say congratulations and well done to Codie Taylor. His 100th appearance for New Zealand. He'll be leading the haka. Very, very special moment for him. Only the 14th Centurion ever to pull on that famous jersey. And he has been exceptional. And he's evergreen as well. He's playing as well as he ever has. He was the best hooker in the world in 2024, and he looks like he's continuing in 2025. And I'd expect him at this point to be perfectly capable of still maintaining this form right through to the next World Cup. So Codie Taylor, fair play, well done. The day belongs to him. But the most eye-catching selection is in the back row for the All Blacks. Simon Parker, and then also Wallace Satiti, both in the 23. Simon Parker on debut, starting at number 8. That is a big call, and I mean big in every sense. Karifi Duplessis, I thought, was really putting a big shift on the open side flank for New Zealand, putting loads of tackles, massive work rate. But Adi Savia shifts over, and Simon Parker, a classic number 8. He is just a big man. Big man. Just when you think of the classic traits of a number 8. Huge man, so a line-out option, big carrier, great rugby brain, soft hands. Simon Parker is that. He looks like he's got a huge ceiling on his game, and has powered up the New Zealand pack even more. It's interesting reading the thoughts of Murray Mexted, arguably, not just in New Zealand, one of the best number 8s in the history of the game, Murray Mexted. He's not convinced by Wallace Satiti. A rare and special talent, Wallace Satiti, and what a player to have on the bench, by the way. He's back, fit and available, and I'm convinced by Wallace Satiti for what it's worth. But then again, Murray Mexted has forgotten more about rugby than I will ever know, so he knows things. I think possibly what Murray Mexted means is just as a number 8, Wallace Satiti doesn't fit the classic mould, Simon Parker does. And in terms of powering up this All Black team, look at that bench. Look at the front row on the bench. Must be 400 kilos of absolute units. Samisoni Taukeaho, Tamaiti Williams. The Mighty Williams is back, and Pasilio Tosi. I've been talking about these 3 coming off the bench for ages now. We get to see it. And I hope they come on in Bob Squad fashion all at the same time. 3 giant fellas coming on. Williams and Tosi both converted number 8s earlier in their career, and now top level props. The front row stable, when you consider that we haven't even seen Terrell Lomax yet, it's frightening. New Zealand are in a very good place, and I really like the age profile of their team. And I've only talked about the pack so far, where there is loads of power, Tupu Vai adding balance. I'm completely sold on Fabian Holland. I've got a combined 23-man squad to do in a minute as well. But when you look at the back line as well, Satiti is back, Roygaard and Mwanga still to return. Mwanga next season, Cam Roygaard, when he's fit and available, to return as well. And 9 and 10, arguably your first choice, although Bowden Barrett will definitely have something to say about that. Your first choice 9 and 10, arguably, to come back in front of a pack which is doing things. And Scott Robertson, he seems to have taken the Crusaders blueprint and transplanted it to New Zealand. Now, I don't want to get carried away, and I could be getting carried away here, because, like I say, it's a kind of Argentinian team which are inconsistent and could go and do amazing things this weekend, as they're capable of doing. But equally, it's another matter when they face up against the Springboks at Eden Park. That game already I'm salivating about. But outside in the back line, like I say, Barrett and Proctor were kept fairly quiet. I'm really pleased that Billy Proctor is getting another shot. I heard the criticism coming his way after last week's performance. I'm really glad Scott Robertson is holding his nerve and sticking to his guns, because I think Billy Proctor has got massive talent and upside, and he deserves the opportunity to bed in. I talked about this, and I had quite a lot of really good comments actually, so thank you for those, from New Zealand fans who said, Tim, unless you're a New Zealander and have been, party to the pedigree and the success that this team have had over the years, and they've been, had incredible periods, particularly like 2010 to 15, an unbelievable team, one of the greatest teams of all time, maybe the greatest team of all time. The standards are set so high that someone coming in who shows a lot of talent at Super Rugby level and then doesn't show it after a few occasions playing for the Blacks, they're naturally going to get that criticism. I've bemoaned that a little bit because I've seen it in England with really good players getting kind of criticised, and just give him a chance. I'm saying the same with Billy Proctor, give him a chance. But then you're right, I haven't had the very, very high expectations that New Zealand fans have had for their team. But Tupea on the bench is waiting, and he could get his opportunity as well. So in terms of a combined 23-man squad, in fact, before I get there, let me just remind you again, I'm staying... it's nice to be able to see it without the tablecloth. But there is the majesty of Table Mountain. There is the majesty of Lion's Head. 360 views of Cape Town from the deck of this Lions Roars Hotel and Lodge. The 3 Boutique Hotel, my home for the next couple of days as we build up to that test match. And thank you very much to Lion Roars for their support on the channel. I'll leave a link in the description. They have got lovely places to stay up and down the garden route from Port Elizabeth right through to Cape Town, in the cities, on the coast, safari, in the winelands, the one-stop shop for everything you need in this beautiful part of South Africa. And you can get a 10% discount by booking via email reservations@lionroars.com by using code EGGCHASERS in your email. and you will get a 10% discount on the best available rate if you book. You don't have to travel, you can travel anytime, but if you make your booking before the end of September, like I say, I'll leave the link in the description. As for the combined 23, I have got, let's have a look, I have got the New Zealand front 5. Last week I put in 4 out of the front 5 and I had Pedro Rubiolo. I've now changed that to Fabian Holland. Another week of New Zealand having 100% record at line-out time and him just putting in huge work rates. He's an 80-minute lock. And he just goes around rattling people, taking care of business at set-piece time. He's a giant unit. I am sold. Fabian Holland is going to get 100 caps. He's going to be a centurion just like Codie Taylor is if he stays fit and well. He looks to the manner born. I am sold on Fabian Holland. So I'm putting him in the front 5 as well, alongside the others. I've got 2 Argentinians in the back row, Matera and Joaquin Oviedo, with Adi Savia completing things there. Again, early days for Simon Parker, really excited by him. And Tupu Vai was brilliant last week, but I just have to have Matera. So there we go, 2 Argentinians in the pack only. I think that tells a story, particularly when things are a lot more balanced behind the back line with Ratima and Albanors, 1 from each side at half-back, 1 from each side in the midfield with Jordi Barrett and Santiago Chocobares, 1 from each side on the wings, Mateo Carreras and Rico Ioane, and Will Jordan, who, I mean, on a barren, non-try scoring run. How could Will Jordan possibly not score last week? I mean, he just created a couple of tries. We'll have to make do with that. And on the bench, the whole New Zealand front row replacements, Guido Petty, well, that could have been Marcos Kremer, Wallace Satiti, and then I've just, even though it doesn't really make sense with the position, Santiago Carreras is so good. I've put him and Damien McKenzie in my back line. Let me know what you think. Drop a little thumbs up on the video, hit subscribe. That game is late Saturday. The game before that is tomorrow. I'm going to go and check out some schools rugby tomorrow morning as well. There's a big local match between Sacks and Bishops, which might not be the Pal derby or Grey College kind of level, but I think it's going to be an interesting insight into the rugby culture in South Africa. And so I definitely want to go and check out some of that game if I'm able to. But it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. I'll have loads of content coming on the channel. So please hit subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.